Welcome to CBG. Look what we've got for you this morning. Sunbeam S7. Not all it's cracked up to be, because look here. Come a little closer. There's some really good bits. Buell, 1200cc Buell race engine. But you'll have to come a little bit closer, Mr. Cameraman, because there's all sorts of little tiny bits that I really want you to look at. First of all, that little thing there, pretty innocuous, but that is your ignition. It's your ignition switch actually. On the key ring, which we'll show you in a minute, there's a little tiny device. It's like a camera battery. It's about the size of your thumbnail, and you just touch it against that. Hey presto, your ignition's sorted on. When you're finished, you can either flick the switch there and disable it until you flick the switch back on again, or you touch it again and that's it, completely immobilised. Sorted. Absolutely brilliant. You look down here, stainless steel exhaust pipes, Sunbeam footrests, but grafted on to Harley Davidson Sportster gubbins, brakes and the like. These little petrol taps here, they're actually from the plumber's merchant on the gas taps, would you believe. We're at Buxton today, we're in the sunshine, and we're at the Pavilion Gardens, which is a public place, and so there's a lot of public about. Little filters in the line. The Buell engine originally was fuel injected, so there's been quite a lot of work converting it from fuel injection with the airbox, which was underneath the Buell tank, down to a stock Harley Davidson single carburetor there. All this business here, the belt guard and everything, hand fabricated by the man in question, which is one Paul Rantin, which I'll introduce you to shortly. The toolbox, or rather the electrical box, still essentially the same thing. The key goes in there, the ignition key, before you do all this business, but then you take your key out, so don't fall off when you're riding away. The ammeter is now an oil pressure gauge. Stainless steel silencer from Armours. Now when you get back to the plungers here, which are the Harley Davidson wheels, the shaft drive from the Sunbeam has gone and the belt drive from the Buell has been grafted on. Now these plungers on the Sunbeam were fixed because of the shaft drive. There was no adjustment. So Paul's essentially taken B31, B33 plungers and put that piece in, so we've now got adjustment on it. Fantastic. Mud guards and all the business, powder coated from Stewart Engineering. This little bit of mud guard here is fiberglass. The bottom bit there is metal, which was an original Stewart guard that was, shall we tell them, it was going in the skip. It's been built on a budget. There's a man after my own heart, this fellow. So what we're going to do now is we'll turn the bike round and I'll show you some of the goodies on the other side. But hang on, before I do that, I've just thought of one more thing. Come a little closer, Mr. Cameraman. Look here. Look at this here. Can you focus on that? See that there? That pulls out like that. And in there, if you can see it, there's a little tiny socket, a 12-volt socket, so he can charge his telephone, you can put his sat-nav in there, you name it. Very, very clever indeed. Okay, welcome back. We've flipped it round. If you look at the front end, we've essentially got standard S7 forks. Well, that's a nice touch look. A little bit loose, but the attach disc in the shroud like that. The headlamp was originally an 8-inch unit, but Stewart Engineering have supplied us an 8-inch to 7-inch converter. So we've now got very, very bright 12-volt halogen headlight that lights up the night sky. As I said earlier, Harley Davidson front wheels have got a 13-inch single-sided disc with a twin pot caliper, I believe. As we go a little bit further that way, just excuse me while I walk round here. Now this bit here is very clever. Well, in fact, I'm jumping the gun a bit. The tank itself, the petrol tank is stock Sunbeam, but because the frame has had a new spine tube put in the top to actually to form a fixing for the engine. It mounts on rubber mountings at the top, at the front, and here at the back. There's a big gap there on the tank. So what they've done is plated that in. It's hollow underneath. Nobody's any the wiser. It looks absolutely brilliant. That's a standard Sunbeam S7 toolbox. This was originally the toolbox, but if you open it up now and drop it down there, there's the oil tank. Why some bend in the seat needs an oil tank. So there's the filler, very nice, all covered up. So one side is the electrics and the battery box and all that, and if you can ever get that back in again, which I can't at the moment, there's the oil tank. Again, we've seen the back. We've got a 12-inch disc Harley Davidson disc on the back to fit that wheel. What else can I tell you? I think we're more or less wrapped up. The frame itself has been stretched slightly and widened slightly to get the engine in, get it all lined up. Been a few teething troubles, as you can imagine, with a special like this, but let me just introduce you to the owner. Step in, Paul. Come on round here. Come round this side. And this is one Paul Rantin, who's actually this is his little baby. This is his work machine. All his own work with a little bit of help from his mate.
No, my mate Martin will fucking help me.
Ever the modest Irish. So that's more or less it. If you want to know any more about it, you're going to have to buy the magazine.